Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to make a spiced courgette loaf, or also known as zucchini bread in North America. And this is going to be in a loaf pan. It's a very easy recipe and takes basic cake ingredients plus some courgette basically, or zucchini, whichever you want to call it. Now, for the spices, I'm going to use mixed spice, which is a jar of spices that you can readily buy in the UK. It has a combination of spices in, which are very similar to the combination used in pumpkin pie spice, and also quite similar to the combination used in speculoos spice. So if you have mixed spice, pumpkin pie spice, or speculoos spice, you can use any one of those for this recipe. And I start off by preheating my oven to 180 degrees Celsius, 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit, and I have greased a 2-pound or 900 gram loaf pan, and as I like to do, I have lined mine as well. But if you grease and flour it, that will be fine. And as I go on to the ingredients, I ought to mention that I'm basing this recipe on one which was found on Sally's Baking Addiction website. And I'm using basically that recipe with just a couple of little tweaks, which suits my purpose. So I'll go on to the ingredients now. And for this I have 220 grams, which is 1 1/3 cups plus 2 tablespoons, based on scooping packed flour into a 250 milliliter cup of plain flour. I have 180 grams, 1½ cups of shredded courgette or zucchini, and I've simply shredded that. I haven't done anything else with it at all. I have 120 milliliters, ½ cup of a flavourless oil. I have 4 grams, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 grams, ½ a teaspoon of baking soda, 7 grams, 2½ teaspoons of mixed spice, 3 grams, ½ a teaspoon of salt, the zest from 1 orange, and that looks to me to be a couple of teaspoons probably. I have 60 milliliters, 1/4 cup of apple puree or apple sauce, 2 medium eggs, which would be large in the USA, 100 grams, ½ a cup of light brown sugar, 100 grams, ½ a cup of caster sugar, and I'm using golden caster sugar, but caster sugar or granulated sugar. I have 100 grams, 1 cup of roughly chopped walnuts, and 10 milliliters, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And that's all the ingredients, and we're simply going to mix all of those together, put them into the loaf tin and bake them. But to do that, we'll start off by combining the dry ingredients. So I'll put the flour into a larger bowl, and then I'll add in the salt, the mixed spice, the baking soda and the baking powder, and I'm going to give those a good mix around to get those distributed into the flour. And that's good like that, so I'll just set that to one side. And we'll mix the wet ingredients together. And I'm actually going to add my orange zest into the wet ingredients at this stage. So that's the orange zest, the oil. The apple puree. The eggs, and the 2 types of sugar, and I'm going to whisk those together until I've got them fully combined. Oh, my vanilla extract goes in as well, of course. So I whisk them until they're fully combined. And with everything combined, I'm going to put my courgette or zucchini in as well, and give that a quick whisk to get that mixed through on a low speed. And that's good. So then I'm going to pour that into the bowl with the dry ingredients, and I'll give that a little mix on a low speed, and then I'm going to use a spatula to stir it all together. So with that mixed just a little bit without over mixing the flour, I'm going to continue to fold that until it's all combined. So with that mixed together, I'm then going to stir in my walnuts. Now I should say these are optional. You can use other nuts, you could use some dried fruits or chocolate chips, or you can just leave it without any additional things added in. And I'm going to put that into my prepared loaf pan. Just like that. And that levels itself off quite nicely. So then I'm going to put that into my preheated oven, and I'm going to bake that for between 60 minutes and 75 minutes. At 60 minutes I'm going to test it with a skewer, and if the skewer comes out just about clean, I know that it's just about done and I'll take it out. But if it doesn't, I'll leave it in for longer and test it again. And when the skewer comes out clean, I will take it out of the oven, and I'm going to leave it in the tin for at least 30 minutes, and then I will transfer it to a wire rack and leave it to cool completely. and once it's cooled completely so that I can slice it, I'll come back and show you the results and we'll have a taste. I baked my spiced courgette loaf for 62 minutes. I tested it at 62 minutes and the skewer came out clean, so I knew that it was done. So I took it out of the oven and left it in the pan for 30 minutes. Then I transferred it to a wire rack and I've left it to cool down, and it's just about cool now, so I've cut some slices and I'll show you what it looks like. So it's baked up quite nicely, as you can see, and you've got the walnuts running through it. So I'll have a taste. I'll just break a piece off this slice here and have a taste of that. I want to taste the spices. It's very, very good. It's actually nice and light, really, but still moist. And I had quite a good bite of walnut in there as well. And the spice is lovely and mellow. Really very, very good indeed. So this is actually an easy recipe and it doesn't take too long. The longest time is waiting for it to cool down, actually. So that's going to be it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there'll be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to a link for the recipe, and I'll put a link below the video as well. And I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.